Today's guest, Spring C. Jackson, has a goal to encourage childcare owners in particular to take off all the hats and show up as a CEO by implementing duplicatable systems that give back time, energy, and guess what? Increases revenue. What are we talking about today? What do your systems say about your business? We're going to get into it right after this quick intro. Don't you move. You're checking us out here live on the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Why y'all so happy?
You don't know? Sharvette Mitchell is on the radio.
It's time to get motivated, excited, and influenced. Why? It's the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show, live from Richmond, Virginia. And now, here to motivate, excite, and influence you, Sharvette Mitchell.
Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show, broadcasting live from the capital city of Richmond, Virginia, but heard and seen all across the World Wide Web. We know that all of our live streaming audiences are getting pings and notifications right now saying, hey, come on over and check out the show. So we know that that is happening. And for those of you that are listening and watching, go ahead and invite a friend, tag them, share this out with them, certainly, because it's going to be a powerful show. You know, the goal of the show is to motivate, excite, and influence. And we're going to do just that today. If you're hanging out here with us for the first time, we are excited that you are here. I am Sharvette Mitchell, marketing consultant, and I work with entrepreneurs all around their marketing, their visibility, and their positioning and branding in their industry. You can check out all of our shows, upcoming, past, and all that good stuff over at Sharvette.com. You might even be hanging out there right now and listening in. We appreciate you. We also certainly appreciate all of our podcast listeners, O to the M to the G, Apple Podcasts. Thank you for always checking us out. Stitcher and iHeartRadio and Spotify. I think I've been leaving y'all out. Spotify, you've been holding it down. So all of our podcast listeners, and certainly those that listen from Blog Talk Radio, we appreciate you as always. So welcome. To all those that are coming on in. Hey, Damon, thank you for popping on in. Hey, girl, hey, hanging out over on Facebook, in my Facebook group. We're glad to have you. Shout out to my sister, Kim, and Deborah hanging out on Holding It Down on YouTube. We are glad to have you. We're glad to have you. As we discuss a really great topic that is really for any entrepreneur, any small business, what do your systems say about your business? So our guest is ready, hanging out in the virtual green room, ready to come up and just drop some nuggets. So let me formally introduce our guest as we get started and get going with our topic today. So Spring C. Jackson is a childcare consultant, published author, and speaker. She is the CEO of Kingdom Kids Childcare LLC, soon to open the second of several locations and franchises. Spring has experience that spans over 15 years in childcare. She started as an in-home childcare provider, a role she played for 6 years before transitioning to start her own childcare business. The Kingdom Kids program is designed to provide a home away from home experience for children and families. And listen, she also founded the Winners Circle, which is an adult-friendly space for childcare leaders to emerge, scale, and to grow their business. The goal is to encourage childcare owners, to take off all the hats and show up as the CEO that you are, by implementing duplicatable systems that give you back time, energy, and increased revenue. Certainly her vast experiences in the childcare industry. But listen, every single entrepreneur can listen up and glean from information that we'll be sharing today with Spring C. Jackson, who is coming up to the mic. Let me greet a few more people as we bring our guest up. Hey, Mom, she's popping on in. Celebrated a birthday yesterday. Hello, Gwen. Thank you for being here. Hello, Karen. Thank you for being here. Without further ado, put your virtual hands together and welcome Spring C. Jackson to the stage. Hey, girl. Hey.
Hey, thank you so much for having me. That was a stupendous introduction. Like, I could not have done that better. That was so awesome. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, you are welcome. You are welcome. I am just excited to jump into this. We're here, officially, unofficially. Summer is over, right? And so I feel like this time of
Absolutely.
year, we're like kind of back to business, like back. Everybody's kind of getting themselves back on a schedule. And certainly, you know that. I don't know if children were already back in school where you are, or all that good stuff.
Yeah, children have been back in school for a couple of weeks. And so this is the start of the fiscal year. So everything for childcare turns over right around the second week of August. And we start our new things to start fresh in September. So, yeah, we've been kind of going at it for a little while, for a couple of weeks now,
All
getting
right.
back, getting back
Wonderful.
to it.
Back to it. And so I shared a little bit of really kind of how your journey started in-home,
Yeah.
childcare providers, how it all started. But there was a shift because you said, and I read that you didn't want to be seen as a babysitter. You didn't want your business at that time to be seen as a babysitter. What caused that mindset shift?
I'm not really sure. I don't even know why that it was such an emphasis, but it was always an important portion. And it might have just become something that I kept hearing in
Mm.
our trainings and, the multiple training and things that I've done over the years, uh, that we get that or put that emphasis on building a credible small business as opposed to um, being a babysitter. And I think that is a stigma that is put on childcare providers that, oh, they're just babysitting, oh, they're just playing all day, that kind of thing. But childcare is very different from just babysitting. Babysitting is making sure that children are fed, played with, eat, changed, and come and go clean,
Yeah.
basically. But childcare, providing childcare is so much more than that. We are developmental, physical, emotional, small motor, gross motor, cognitive, so many other things, so many other developmental things
Yeah.
goes along with childcare as a small business. And I wanted to make sure that I was doing those things as well. So when I was an in-home provider, I cut out the TV. I took the TV out of my small business,
Oh,
and
wow.
we developed activities, and we did things all day. We did songs, we did finger play, we did developmental things to make sure that they were developing at their age level. So
All right, wonderful. And I'm so honored to have you actually as a contributing author in my book collaboration, Pearls,
yes,
officially
ma'am.
launching, officially available, let me say it that way, September 22nd. So that is one of the sponsors for the show. But I just want to read one sentence from your chapter, which is the second chapter opens up the book, called Black Pearl. And you say childcare can and has been a rough business to run if you don't run it like a business. And so I think there are a lot of entrepreneurs that can take from that one sentence, because sometimes
Mhm.
some people might feel like, oh, I just have a side gig, or I just am doing this. But like, talk a little bit about, really, you got to have a mindset that you're running an actual business.
Absolutely. And so it was fed or fueled from the last statement that we were talking about not showing up as a babysitter and being a reputable business. So um, filing for your LLC, getting your bank account, making sure that you are registered with your state, you register your name, um, you do all of the legalese and make sure that your paperwork is on point, but also put together systems that will help your business show up, or how do I say it best? Help your business to be able to not only be duplicatable, but that it conducts itself as a well-oiled machine. So you're
Yeah.
not showing up all over the place. You're not showing up as the talent that has to be guided. You actually are showing up as a CEO that are guiding others. Once you get to that point, I know there's some small businesses that they work alone, and I did for quite some time. They work alone at the beginning, and then as they evolve and as they grow, then they bring on others and that kind of thing. And so the systems are extremely important for that, because it actually will help the person that works with you to know how to do what you do and what they're responsible for in your absence. So that is one really, really important way to run your business like a business, not just a passion, but
Yeah.
like a business.
Like a business. And so you certainly transitioned from in-home provider, was able to buy a facility and all of that, and which you've certainly been operating and growing. But in the beginning, when you bought this childcare center, there wasn't curriculum, there weren't processes, there weren't procedures. All the things was
Yeah.
like, where did you start?
Well, so just to give a little bit of the backstory is I purchased a childcare from a lady who was pretty much over childcare. She enjoyed doing the childcare in regards to children, but did not enjoy managing people, doing the business end, all of those things. It just got to be too much. It was overwhelming, and she was pretty much over it. So it was a blessing to me that she was over it, so I could step into a childcare that actually had children and had employees. And so acquiring a business that's already in place is seemingly, in my mind's eye, a little more difficult because there were already some things going on. And so to turn that on its ear and start anew is something that had to be done slowly and strategically, because I still have to run the business, but I still have to clear out the mess. There were some employee issues where in larger companies, they would go in, fire everybody, and just employ a new crew. But I had an ongoing business to run, so I had to pretty much just weed out things slowly. And so as I'm doing the things that I know to do, there are also things that I did not know that I had to do or even needed in the process. So there were so many things that I learned. And when I tell you the first year and a half of business, it was coming fast and furious, and I was just hit from all angles. I literally was like dodging bullets all over. Like, oh my god, I didn't know. I thought I had, and so I thought I had paperwork done. So I had sat and taken a year and made a job out of going to the library to prepare myself for owning a childcare. And so I had all my paperwork together. I had everything that I thought I needed. All of the basic things to open up a childcare, I had them all in place. I was good to go. And so although I was ready in that right, I didn't have a dime. I didn't know about business credit. I didn't know about any of those things. So I just knew that I was equipped to run a daycare. A little did I know there was a lot more equipment that I was needing to buy or attain. So, but I was just willing to do it. I stepped out on faith. When I got the call, the lady who actually was passing on the daycare to me was one of the other ladies. I guess I was the other person or one of the other people that he was considering to take the building. Okay. And I didn't have any money back then, but I was just ready. I just knew what I knew, and I had gone through the steps. I had done all the research. I'd done, what I knew to do at the time. And so I was passed over, a little disappointed, but, it was par for the course because, again, I walked into a childcare not having to build an employee, staff, not having to struggle to get the daycare filled up. I walked in with a full daycare, full ride of employees, and they cut me an $800 check. Now, I said before that I didn't have a dime to open daycare. So this was just a part of my testimony that, when I got the call and I hung up from the gentleman, I was working an overnight job, and I just laid there and was like, God, you're funny.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't have a dime. So if this is you, you're going to have to do it. And I remembered that I laid back down and went to sleep because I was doing overnight. So I went and took the rest of my nap till I had to get up. And so it just started everything started falling into place. Things were just going exactly as designed. When I tell you, the lady that I took over from, she helped me with all of my paperwork. She got me any licenses, anything. She went over and above. Our
Wonderful.
licensing worker took it all the way to the state level. She was ready to go. She was so serious about it. And so she was willing to help me do anything and everything. So again, to the testament of, she had children. I took over the 5th day of the month. And so she had children that paid monthly fees. And so she took all that money that they would have paid because I was taking over the 5th. She prorated the first 5 days, gave me the rest. And I said, again, I got an $800 check. I didn't have a quarter. So
wow. I mean, like, so much right in there, so much right in there of just a testament of how this even came about. And I do want to capture a comment over on LinkedIn really quickly. Thank you. You said, great topic, a game-changing perspective. It took me a while to understand this concept and apply it to myself. And so great. Sounds like that person systemizing and spending time on processes was something that helped with their business. So thank you over on LinkedIn. And so now in this space, and this is, this experience is, you've got, it's several years ago now.
Absolutely.
What are the systems that are most important, for businesses? And if you want to tailor it to childcare or just in general, however you want to answer, that'd be great.
Well, it's actually my niche. So, I mean, of course, I'm always going to revert back to, where I'm most comfortable. But systems are important for every business. Being able to have systems that people that will help you, or you are going to look to for help, you have it written out and explained in a way that is understood by others other than just you, is essential. Because even if you are a small business and you're only contracting virtual assistants, or you have just a personal assistant, so you're not too big, something kind of small, you just need a little help a few days a week, or they may be 40 hours a week in the background. It's also very important to put together systems and things in place that they can go to, and you don't have to continue to repeat yourself or explain over and over again. It's something that they can do without you hand holding, and things get done so that you can, again, take back that time. Because if you have systems in place and people are able to follow your systems, then you're not explaining things away several times a day or week. Hand holding a lot of times, repeating yourselves on a regular basis. So if you have some reference material and you have some things, so in childcare, every classroom would have their SOP book, our standard operating procedures. So in every situation, from the time you open the door to the time you close the door, it's spelled out. And I wouldn't say every situation, but as many situations that have happened in childcare. So emergency preparedness, what to do to open the building, what to do to close the building, what to do during lunchtime, snack time, nap time, what each teacher is responsible for on a regular basis, what teachers are responsible for on a situational basis, all of those things. And it's important to have systems for each department. So we have systems for not only classrooms, but lead teachers, assistant teachers, administration, kitchen staff, drivers, everybody, maintenance, everybody has standard operating procedures, so that you are able to have something that is tangible, that they can go back to and reference. Training is always awesome, and continuous training is always awesome, but something that they could actually go back and look at. And so as a consultant, I also have my standard operating procedures in Trello. And it is a system in which me and my virtual assistant, who is overseas, can message back and forth in real time. And I explain everything that I want done. I explain when it needs to get done. There's calendar events. There's all kinds of neat things that keep us on track, and me having to go back and remind, I needed this for that. this shouldn't be doing, like, so I do a podcast. And so the podcast, she knows that by Wednesday, the podcast guest has to have, prior to the week before, has to have their guest graphic, their email sent out, information for them, everything that they need to know, so we are not stumbling and fumbling over each other trying to make this thing happen.
Right.
And so if those procedures are already spelled out, then things go smoothly and you're not tripping over each other. And so that's why I say that standard operating procedures are so important, because it helps you to be able to get things done without the fumbling and, making sure that it's a smooth transition through everything. It's very helpful, and it does get you back that time, and you show up clean and polished and not raggedy. So the way that you increase your revenue is to stay in a position yourself as a trusted business, at someone that they trust, someone that shows up like they're on point. They know what they're doing. I trust them with my children. I trust them with my product. I trust them with my money. I'll get my product every time, on time, that type of thing. So
awesome. Let me capture this comment. That's right. Must be spelled out. I ran a home-based daycare through the state for over 10 years. Oh my goodness. With a 24-page contract, SOPs, other providers thought I was crazy.
Ma'am, you are on point.
Yeah. And for those that are just popping in, hey, we are hanging out here on the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show, talking to Spring C. Jackson, 15 plus years, childcare industry, but really big around like your processes and your systems. And so this is a great conversation for any entrepreneur. Spring, while they're listening, how can they connect with you and find out more information? And I'm checking to see who sent that last comment.
So the best way to contact me would be at Spring C. Jackson on any one of my numerous platforms. So I am on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, Pinterest, and I am a TikToker. So you can find me on TikTok too.
Okay, and I should say she's like semi-viral on TikTok. So, okay, Marquisa Davis, a fellow platform builder. Marquisa, awesome. Thank you. Who said that? So yes, and also like pretty much viral on TikTok. How can they find you on TikTok?
TikTok is SCJ Winner Circle.
All right.
So SCJ Winner Circle on TikTok. That's the only other one. Everywhere else, I am Spring C. Jackson, at Spring C. Jackson. I also would invite whomever would like to join. It says right there on the screen, joincircletime.com. So joincircletime.com is where you will click the link and join the Facebook community called Circle Time for CEOs. I always trip up on this on my titles because everything is related to circles. That's my favorite shape.
Yeah,
I'm a childcare nerd. It's okay. So it's Circle Time for CEOs, and how you join is joincircletime.com. And so we'd love to have you. It's a laid back environment. It's a adult friendly Facebook community that really speaks to childcare providers, owners, directors, anyone in a professional level of childcare. And we just like to encourage each other, uplift each other, share information, all the things. I also do a podcast, and you can find the podcast at childcareprocircle.com. I had to get it right. So childcareprocircle.com, and that's Wednesday evenings at 7 p.m. And so those are my super friends that speak to the business aspect of childcare. So in childcare, what I needed, I could wrangle children. I could formulate a team, get us together, bond us and get us working. But what I needed was the business. What I needed was systems. What I needed was legalese and HR and marketing and branding and all the things. So I really love that as a childcare consultant, I speak to the business aspects of childcare, because that is something that there are so many things in the business of childcare that childcare owners don't know that they need. until
Yeah.
they're well in it and have no idea how to or what to do. And so I'd like to allow them to cut across the field, connect with us, and we'll help you along the way grow, scale, and increase revenue.
Oh, right. Wonderful. Ayana over on LinkedIn said, awesomeness. This is a great place to serve. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So well said. So well said. Certainly with children, you are building our future and guiding and moving our future. And so
Absolutely.
for the person that's saying, am I too new? Like when would I know that I need systems or procedures, or how soon do I need it?
Actually, you need it as soon as possible. If you can get systems in place before you open and train your people that will be in leadership to the systems before you open, that would be ideal. I just personally didn't have that luxury.
Mhm.
And I wish someone had told me, or wish I had run across that information before I started. I probably would be about 50 pounds lighter and a little less stressed for the first couple of years I was in business. Just saying.
Uh-huh.
But, because it's what I take on as my stress relief. So, um, and we also speak to the self-care, because there's some other things that I didn't really realize. Mindset and self-care is really important. And
Mhm.
so as a new business owner, having that support is great. So as early as you can make it happen is awesome. So brand new, not even in business yet, getting together some systems, finding an SOP consultant, someone that deals with standard operating procedures, doing it yourself, which I have found is really difficult unless it's your jam. I have cornered the market on it just because it had to be done,
Yeah.
because I felt like it was sink or swim. I had to get these things in place, or I was probably going to either pull my hair out or quit. And I'm not a quitter. So,
Yeah.
um, so, so as quick as you can get it done and get it in place, the better. But I also want to impress upon the people that are already in business, and you need a little something. Things aren't just right. You're showing up too often, doing too many things all over the place, putting out brush fires in every department, in every classroom, speaks to your systems. It
Mhm.
absolutely says that things aren't in place so that the people who are responsible for the things that they are supposed to be doing either don't know what
Mhm.
or don't know how. And you absolutely need to get those duplicatable systems in place so that you
Yes.
could actually take back your time and your energy. And it increases revenue because you show up as a business owner and not so all over the place. And you build the trust in the people that you serve.
And so I think that's a perfect, it's perfect ending as far as the topic. What do your systems, say about you? Like you just summarized it right there in a nutshell. One more time, how can people connect with you? And in particular, if there are childcare providers or those that are aspiring to be in that space and are interested in maybe consulting with you, because I know you do that as well.
Absolutely.
How should people connect with you and all the good things?
So connecting with me, for the consulting space, my platform of choice is Facebook, because it is the home of Circle Time for CEOs, our Facebook community. And so you can join Circle Time, go to joincircletime.com and join the Facebook community. You can also listen in on my podcast at childcareprocircle.com. And of course, I am Spring C. Jackson across all platforms except for TikTok. TikTok, I am SCJ Winner Circle.
All right. And if you are hanging out and with us on Sharvette.com, our main website, there's a full blog post with Spring's
Yes,
blog and all of the connection points to Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, all the things.
Mhm.
And if you are listening to our podcast version, just look down below in the show notes and you'll see the connection points for Spring. So any of our podcast talk radio, just look down below on whatever device you're on in the show notes and you'll have the connections there. And so,
Absolutely.
wow, time flew by, but the
Yes,
goal
yes,
of
it
the
did.
show, last question for you, the goal of the
Okay.
show is to motivate, excite, and influence. And we want to
Mhm.
know what continues to motivate Spring C. Jackson.
What motivates me is my desire to change the trajectory of my legacy. I want to, I come from a background that didn't have didn't put a lot of emphasis on generational wealth, leaving a
Yeah.
legacy for our family. And I feel like I am in place to do that. And so I really, really take that as um, something that I'm assigned to do. It's an assignment on my life. And so something in me, or I'm not even sure what I can call it other than God's grace won't let me quit. I just won't
Yeah.
quit. I can't quit. When I have thoughts of quitting, when I would want to quit, I just don't. I keep pushing. I keep going. I keep being more. There were some times in that first year or two in daycare that I just sat in my office and cried. Like, really, what am I doing?
Yeah.
I don't know
And you
what I'm doing.
survived the pandemic. Like you
And I
survived the
survived
pandemic too.
with flying
Surviving.
colors. Actually, it was very nice. So I was graced to be able to benefit from the pandemic in some ways that an early a business that was very young at that point um, didn't have some opportunities, and some opportunities open. So as tragic as the pandemic was, there were some other benefits to going through that as a business owner. So I can appreciate it while knowing what downfall it brought to,
Yeah.
the world. So
All of that. Well, it has been a pleasure just chatting with you and getting reminders for some and ahas for others around putting systems in place. I think the bigger thing around that is thinking more broadly, like outside of yourself, for those that are solopreneurs, like
absolutely.
how do you expand? And for those that are going, like you said, if you're starting a restaurant, if you're starting some businesses, you have to start with staff. Like you can't do it by
Absolutely.
yourself. And so I
Absolutely.
think you absolutely shed some light on that. And lots of love coming in from the comments. Gwen, thank you. Great show. Absolutely. Great information. Great show. Thank you so much. Over on, let's see here. Tasha, thank you for being here. Great questions coming in. Thank you for all of the love that is coming on in. All right, Spring C. Jackson, we're going to see you later. We are again excited
Thank you,
that you
ma'am.
are a part of Pearls. So you all
I'm
can pick up your
excited.
copy. Second chapter,
Yes,
Black
yeah.
Pearl, and read a little bit more about her story and get a little bit more guidance. So thank you for stopping by the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right. You are welcome. You're welcome. All right, listeners. Awesome. Right. So share this. I invite you to share this out. And guess what? If you have children that are in a daycare facility, or I'm going to say before and after facility, and you're friends with the owners or friends with whoever is providing the childcare, tag them on this episode. Share this podcast or this live stream with them. I invite you to do that. We're going to wrap up. Again, this segment was brought to you by our new book, Pearls. Official release date September 22nd. Those of you that pre-ordered, your books are coming. And so here's a little bit about it.
The book collaboration, Pearls, is a collection of advice and guidance for women who want to excel in various areas of their life, career, and business. In this engaging combination of intimate stories, thought-provoking guidance, strategic advice, and practical tips, 11 emerging leaders share pearls of wisdom. By the time you finish reading Pearls, you'll walk away with a collection of invisible pearl necklaces that will make you feel empowered. You will have a renewed sense of direction and confidence to face what's next for you. Order your copy of Pearls today.
All right. And you can pick up a copy on the homepage of Sharvette.com. Grab your copy there, and we'll be excited for you to check out all of the great authors that are featured there. All right, it's a wrap for today. Thank you for being here. And again, I recommend that you share this out and all of that. And we'll be seeing you all later on the web. All right, bye.
Live from Richmond, Virginia, you've been listening to the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show. Catch Sharvette Mitchell every Tuesday at 6 p.m., interviewing all the stars you want to hear from. So until next week, stay motivated, excited, and influenced. This is the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show.